Hey everybody, my name is Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today is going to be kind of in the line with the vlog, so if you didn't watch my last video, I would definitely suggest to check that out. Basically what is going on is I have just recently quit my job, my day job, and I am focusing on my business full-time. So I own a business called Cruelty Free Stitchery where I make cloth reusable products, and I am focusing on that pretty much from now on, and I finally kind of had an opportunity to do so. So in this video I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I am excited for and what I'm nervous about in this journey. So there's going to be vlogs and behind the scenes kind of stuff about the whole running a business and working from home and that kind of thing. But today I'm just going to talk about a few things, kind of more of a sit down video, because some other ones I'll maybe do every other video depending on how everything goes. Every other week vlog and then a sit down kind of video. So I don't know if I'm showing up because it's really bright outside, but it still kind of seems dark, and I've turned my light up a lot. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. So but I'm already got my makeup and hair done because I am going to do a photo shoot with my fiance, and not really an engagement shoot, I don't know, but my ex-coworker now, I guess, she does photography, and so we're going to set that up, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So a couple things that I am nervous about. Most of these I can fix or look up, do more research on, and be totally fine. So the first thing is money, of course. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, you quit your job. Do you have a bunch of money? No, I don't have a bunch of money. I am actually in debt, not very much though, relatively, and but I still, have to make the minimum payments every month, so that's at least what I've got to do. I've got my minimum payments on my debt, and then my, food, gas, that kind of stuff, car insurance, phone bill. So right now I do have enough money to last for at least 2 months, maybe just a little bit longer if I really stretch. But I have everything all budgeted out, so it's all ready to go. And I use this app called YNAB, or You Need a Budget. I use it on the desktop version, is a lot more than the app, so I would definitely suggest if you have a computer to get there, or it's a website. I think you just go to it, so you don't have to download anything. But I basically just budgeted out everything in those categories for what I have to spend for the next 2 months. Which 2 months is significant because that's when I start doing pretty regular craft shows. So until then, what I'm doing is focusing on my e-commerce, and then building up inventory for those craft shows. So I do know I have enough for a while, but it's still kind of scary because it's what if what if something happens and I can't do the craft shows, or blah blah blah. It's fine, it'll work out. I'm just doing what I can on my end with search engine optimization and getting good photos for my listings and stuff to make sure people see them and want to click on them and buy them. The next thing I'm nervous about is taxes. So I will have a W-2 for the first little bit of the year, but it's going to look like I did not make much money for the whole year, because I only worked maybe 2.5, not even 2.5 months out of this year with the W-2 form. So small business taxes are a little bit more complicated than, just going into TurboTax and putting in your W-2 and then you're done. And I'm going to be married by the end of the year, so I'm not sure how we would file, probably separately. I don't know. I'll have to look into all that. I am thinking about hiring a CPA if I have the funds to do so. The next thing I am nervous about, I am probably more nervous about it in person, not so much with the videos, because that's not really something that I can share a whole lot of, but moving. I talked about in the last video, but my fiance Tin, he is enlisted in the military, so he is planning on, should we count it out, it's going to be around October, November sometime. With the military, they hurry up and wait is their motto. So he could be out the middle of October, it could be the end of November. We have no idea. We also have no idea if he's going to be granted leave to come back and move our stuff to where we're going, because our plan was he should be getting a week or so when he's out of his training. That way he can move his stuff, and then that week we're going to be getting married, moving all of our stuff, probably not taking a honeymoon, I don't know, because it's going to be a struggle to get like moved and everything, because we don't even know where he's going to go. Like if he could go somewhere relatively close, you know, like within this half of the United States at least, then it shouldn't be too hard to move because it can just drive there. But if he had stationed like overseas, I know it's not uncommon to get stationed overseas first, but you never know. So if he gets stationed overseas, I've moved across the country, I've never moved overseas, so I don't know how that's going to go. That's going to be a whole new experience. And also with that, the timing, number one, and then also the space, because I have a lot of, like, I don't have that much personal stuff. Like, we don't really have any furniture or anything, but I have all of my fabric and my inventory, my desks, sewing machines, all that kind of stuff that would need to be moved with me. So, yeah, that's kind of like, I don't know how much they will allow us to move, especially if it's overseas. They probably put a limit on like how much they will ship for you, because it is very expensive to ship things overseas. And the next thing I'm kind of nervous about, but kind of not, and it's worked out for me in the past, but it's keeping up with vlogs and like creating new content instead of just like kind of the same thing over and over again. So like beauty videos can kind of get repetitive. That's what I used to do more when I kind of first started in this channel. I was like picking up steam with being regular with posting videos and stuff. I would kind of do the same ones over and over again, like empties, favorites, like get ready with me, that kind of stuff, just over and over and over. But I want to try to do more different things and just kind of show you different aspects of what it's like to own a small business and work from home and all that stuff. But I think I will be fine once I get the hang of it. I just have to get used to like the uploading and editing, because that filming I don't think is going to be that big of a problem, but the editing and also rendering takes a long time. It takes probably more time for me to, or for the computer to render the video than it is to edit. So if you don't make videos, once you put you take memory card out of the camera or whatever, upload it to your computer to put into your editing software, then you edit it, clip it, trim the clips down, take out the dead space, add in effects or whatever you want to do. And then once you have to export it to make it smaller to put on YouTube, and that takes a long time. Depending on your computer, it could take hours, and it only takes me roughly 1.5 times the length of the video to edit it, so it's not that much. And then uploading takes not very long, like maybe a few minutes, depending on, if it's like an hour video, it'll take a while, but most of my videos takes maybe 10-15 minutes to upload, because we got pretty fast internet here, but like where I used to live, or like at my dad's house, tried to upload a video there, it took forever. So that is one of the main things that I usually try to do something like productive while I'm waiting for it to render, like get some sewing done, because sometimes my computer, like if I try to watch a video or something, like watch YouTube or do something on the internet, it kind of kicks me out of my editing software because the RAM won't handle it. So I try to like do something else while that's happening, so I don't waste time and all that. But that should be fine. I'm thinking I know that I am overthinking everything, because that's what I do. And the last thing I'm nervous about is expansion. So most of owning a business is thinking ahead about your next step and what the next season's going to look like. And at this point, expansion is going to be difficult, just because like the next step from where I am is, well, number one, increasing sales is going to be the obvious next step. But after that, once my sales increase and I go beyond to what I can physically produce and ship and all that, would be to hire someone to help, or if it grows even faster than that, to basically have a warehouse with employees and everything. And that I am having a hard time imagining that right now, because of like the move and stuff. Because like if he's in the military, I'm not going to be in the same place forever, not even for a couple years at a time. So setting up something like that with other people involved, like I can move wherever, I can deal with it, that's fine, but I can't ask other people to like move with me, you know what I'm saying? So this is a topic for another time, like with expansion and everything, like how I plan to do that. But just right now, it's like I kind of want it to grow, but not so fast. I don't know. I don't want to put myself in a box either, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. I don't want it to get out of control to where I just like panic and then like shut the whole thing down because I do have a tendency to do that, or I'll like get nervous and just stop doing everything. So that will hopefully work itself out. I could always, if I needed to set up studio, I could come back and do that here. In my, because everything, like I said, is Kentucky made. Well, it's not going to be Kentucky made when I move, wherever we're going. And that's not to say that I don't want to expand. Certainly that's not what I'm trying to say, but I am just nervous about how I'm going to handle it. I feel like my business model up to this point is kind of scattered, just being like totally real and honest, and I like building off of that would be kind of a challenge. But I do know a lot of small business owners, which I mentioned in the last video. Olivia Haywood, she owns a small business, Main Message, where she makes like the hair, basically hair accessories, and she talked about where she hires like people as contract workers. So I would just send them a 1099. I wouldn't have to pay their insurance and do all that stuff, which I do not understand anything about that. So but she like hires people, like she gives them the supplies, and then she will like bill them hourly for making things for her, which I think would be a great option for me. I could have I could hire somebody from here that would be able to make the stuff and then send it to me for fulfillment, or if I trusted them enough or whatever, they had a good enough space to do it in, I could also hire them to ship some orders. So who knows how that's going to go, but I will of course keep you posted on all that. And then now for things that I am excited about. So number one, number one and number two are what I'm most excited for. So the first thing is that I do not have a traditional retail or even a traditional job anymore. I've had a job for the very vast majority since I was 17. So I started at Kohl's seasonal, and they wouldn't keep me past the season because I wasn't 18, and I also made like exactly minimum wage, no more. And like even the people that were full-time there only made minimum wage, which I hope they've changed that by now. That's like unheard of in 2020, that people make like actually like the $7.25 or $35, whatever it is. Most places, like in my past job, I was making over $15 an hour. And then I quit there and worked at McDonald's for a long time, probably about 3 years. I quit there and worked at Kroger for a couple months. Then I left Kroger and worked at a bank. I'm not gonna say which bank, but for a call center. I hated that. And then I moved back here because with the bank I moved to Maryland, and that didn't work out, so I moved back here. Couldn't keep my job at the location here, so I quit there. I tried to do YouTube and everything full time, but I just was not prepared for the amount of work or how to even like market myself, do that kind of thing. And I was crocheting at that time. I hadn't started really sewing yet. I started sewing shortly after that. I knew how to sew, but I didn't like make stuff to sell that I sewed. So crochet is just another. I've mostly stopped crocheting just because number one, my hands can't handle it, and also I can't make any money off of it because people don't want to pay for the time that you put into it. So that's one thing. Like, random inserted piece of advice here. You have to choose what you make. If you love crocheting, that's great, but that's one of those things where it's really hard to make your money back, or make the time or the money for your time back out of that. Especially if like you're calculating at even minimum wage. People don't want to pay more than the cost for materials for you to crochet them something. So like, people have asked me to make them like Afghans and stuff. I would not charge less than a few $100s for an Afghan, just because of how much time, and that is like grossly underpaying myself for the amount of hours that it takes to crochet like a blanket sized piece. But I do know a lot of people who have had great success at crocheting and knitting by selling patterns and tutorials. So that's one thing. If you're passionate about something but you can't really see a way to make money from it, teach people how to do it. But anyways, so after that I started working at Hobby Lobby. That's the first time I've ever said that on the channel, but that's where I worked up until a few days ago. And that was great. I didn't have any problems with the job itself. I opened a few new stores with them. That was great, great money. And I got paid pretty well. The insurance was kind of crap, but what can you do? I'm still on my dad's insurance and it's through the government, so it was pretty good. Yeah, I had no problems with the job. I just, traditional retail and like working the hours, and like I said in my last video, they did not give us a set schedule every day, which you would close like 2 nights out of the week, and the other 3 you would be like in the morning or mid shift. So it was really impossible to set up any kind of a routine, make plans, do anything. And so some nights I would be up until 1 a.m. working on stuff here and then have to go into work the next morning, or to get up early and work on stuff before I came into work if I was working late that day. It was just not conducive, and I was not sleeping or eating. That's ultimately why I quit. But just having to work for somebody else and having to clock in, and you have to be on time every single day, that just, which I don't have a problem with, like, and yeah, of course, if you're working a job, you should be on time, but life happens and you have to make arrangements, and that just, yeah, I'm being a stereotypical millennial and saying that I do not like traditional jobs. And I'm glad, especially now with this plague, I'm not scared about myself getting it, because I know I'll be fine. I don't have any like problems that would cause an issue for me, but I do know people close that could get it, so like perfect timing to work from home and stay at home pretty much 24/7. Then the second one to go along with that is not necessarily about the job, but it is forced interactions with the public. So I know if you worked in retail, food service, pretty much anything to do with the public, people just suck sometimes. And especially being a woman with even small body modifications, just forget it. Like so many unwarranted comments, so many rude comments, I just couldn't. And also the number one interaction that I am glad to be rid of, at least, well, I mean, I know I'm not going to get rid of this forever, it's going to happen eventually, but just older men being like, "Excuse me, are you busy? You look like you can help me with something." Then you see, like, you can like just feel their breath on you, and they're like, oh gosh. Like, I can't do, like, personal space. If you can reach out your hand and touch me, you are too close. Or then people would like grab my ring. My ring is, I don't know, I've never shown this, okay, I'm not like trying to be some kind of way, but is it even gonna focus on it? I don't know. But that's an unconventional ring, okay? And people would like, if I was close enough to them where they could like see my hand closely and see that this was an unconventional ring, they'd be like, grab my hand like looking at it. Or they would like, I have a tattoo that stops above my elbow, and if I'm wearing a t-shirt you can see it. And then people would like grab my arm and like pull my sleeve up to look at it. I'm like, stop. Like, don't touch strangers. Like, what is, just because I am working does not mean that you can touch me, okay? And then also kind of along with that one is that I can wear whatever I want. I don't have to wear a blue shirt and khakis. I can dye my hair again. I've left it bleached for such occasion if I want to dye it again. I'm not too sure, because it does, my dilemma with dyeing and bleaching my hair is that it produces quite a bit of waste. Not a whole lot. I don't do it like every week, maybe like once every month or two. I would bleach my roots, but that's about it. I can get 2 uses or so out of a packet of bleach, which, you know, it's not that much, but also it's kind of unnecessary to me, like trying to be lower waste. And I do reduce waste in a lot of areas. So I own a company focused on helping people reduce their waste. But still, you know, I just feel kind of like it's wasteful, but also I don't want to deal with growing my hair back out. Like, I would almost have to shave it, because you can see my roots, it is a drastic difference. Not, my hair is not like black or anything, but it's pretty dark blonde, and I don't know, because when it starts growing out, it looks really greasy really fast. I'm also very tempted, much to my best friend's dismay, that I want a side shave, but it's probably not a good idea because I do not want to have to deal with growing that out when I decide I hate it. So, yeah, I don't know. But then I can wear like shorts, sweatpants, leggings, you know, whatever I want, whatever color shirt I want. I'm probably going to get rid of all my blue shirts because I'm tired of them. The next thing that I am excited about, and I was kind of nervous about part of this, but I'm excited to be making more videos. I do like making videos and sharing stuff, and I have been kind of playing in my head with ideas of vlogs and stuff that I could do related to that, and how I could take you along with me on this journey, even though I am kind of in this room for most of it. But I just want to get like better at that way, because I do want to do more like travel vlogs and that kind of stuff in the future, and I feel like if I'm comfortable talking to the camera here, then I'm going to be able to, you know, be easier later on. And I want to work on like the cinematography aspect of like getting good shots, good angles, editing, that kind of stuff. The last thing that I'm excited for is that I can control my work environment. So if I don't have to smell people's perfume all day, because, well, that's been like the hardest part of the last few months. Like, I don't know what it is about winter time, but people feel like they have to dump a whole bottle of perfume on themselves and when they go in public. I don't understand. In summer, I don't notice that big of a problem, but in wintertime, like, why? You're not sweating, you're not stinky, just stop. I feel like I do get sensory overload a lot. Actually, that's probably why I get tired after filming, because of the bright light, but a lot of my sensory overload is if there's a lot of smell. So I don't wear perfume, I don't buy anything scented, I don't use like room sprays or candles or anything like that, because I don't like scented things. Even like scented lotion, if it lingers for a while, I can't do it. So I like being able to control my environment and the smells, and you know, like the lighting, and also with that, like my hours, I can set my own hours if I wanted to wake up late one day, which I have noticed that waking up late is not conducive to productive work. But I will probably never like actually put that into practice, you know, keep sleeping in. But I find that my brain's the most active at night when I get tired, but it's also not like cohesive thought. So I'll have to work on that and see what the best time of day for me to do things around is. Then also I can organize my office the way I want it to. I can have my machine where I want it. I can organize, like I've got separate places for my fabric, a place for like where I've cut things out, and then things where they're done, they've been sewed and everything. Sewn. I'm a seamstress and I don't even know, like sewed. Basically, I can control everything. And I can like set up my own, customize my website, my social media, pretty much everything, like branding myself, basically. And also I do like that I can do that in conjunction with the YouTube channel. And it's kind of like an all-encompassing thing. Like my channel is all about me, like what I like, and then also my business. So I like that I can control all of that and make it my own. I don't have to rely on someone else, or, you know, I'm not going to put anything out that I don't agree with, even though, like, if you work for a traditional company, you're probably going to do stuff you don't agree with. So yeah, that was it. That was what I am excited for. I kind of got rambly there for a little bit, but I'm glad that I had the opportunity to do this, and I know I can free up my schedule some next week, and I was planning to film it. So if you're interested in learning more about reusable stuff, I have a link to my Etsy shop below, and also very, very soon I should have my Shopify website open. If I do, I'll have it in the description box, but if not, check back later. And you can always visit crueltyfreestitchery.com. I'll put that up here somewhere. If it's not open yet, it'll have a link to my Etsy where you can shop in the meantime, but I am working very hard to get that set up, and I would like to transition out of Etsy at some point, which is kind of scary. I might keep a few like staple basic items in Etsy just for like visibility, because people search on there for things. It's a little bit slightly easier to get found on Etsy than it is to be like, and also people can like buy multiple things at once, you know, like they can buy something from my shop, something from your shop, you know, all in one place, instead of like going to some random person's website they don't know. Yeah, I am working really hard on that. It is like 80% done at this point when I'm filming on Sunday. What is today? The 8th. So that was it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any suggestions for videos that I could do, topics that I could talk about, questions that you have about running a small business. And I'm not an expert yet, but I am working on it, and I know nobody's perfect, so we can learn and grow together. And give this video a thumbs up if that was interesting, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.